Rockstar made their name with crime and cowboys, but in 2006 they gave us something completely different, Bully. And it wasn't just fun, it was brilliant, unique and definitely ahead of its time. And yet, Rockstar left it behind. There's no sequel, no comeback, just silence on the whole franchise. So today I want to talk about why Bully is still amazing today and what really happened to the series. So let's get into it. So you play as Jimmy Hopkins, a rebellious, sarcastic and most of all uncontrollable kid, or so they say. His parents dumped him off at Bullworth Academy and basically just leave because his parents go on a vacation and they really don't want to spend any more time on him. Now, Bullworth is both cozy and gritty, and there's also a small town that surrounds it. So once you get to chapter 2, that unlocks and you can go into the town, which we'll speak about more later in the video. Now, the academy itself is almost a character on its own. There is different kind of teachers, there's prefects, there's cliques going on, and you can basically make your own rules on the compound grounds, but don't, act surprised if that prefect is gonna try and catch you if you do something stupid. And once you're dumped into Bullworth, the school isn't just the only thing you get to explore. Now in the beginning of the game, you stay on the campus, but the game builds immersion before it's expanding. You get to know the story, you get to know some characters in the game that play a huge role. So the game does a really good job when it comes to not like throwing all this stuff at you, like, hey, you can go and do this and that. No, the game is like you have to learn about the characters, the story and stuff before you get to the town that's outside of the compound grounds, which is in chapter 2. But once that happens, the game really feels like a mini GTA. There's a carnival going on where you can take part in mini games, where you get tickets that you can then spend on perhaps getting this scooter that's there. There are suburbs. They all have their own unique atmosphere. Now, there are also different areas that are controlled by the jocks, the greasers, the preppies and the nerds. We're gonna get into that a bit more later in the video, but just so you know, there are 4 types of students on the compound that also go into the town that you will eventually do missions for, and once you do them they will start to like you more, and they might even help you if you get into trouble, which is really cool. Now, exploration reward curiosity. There are secrets in this game, there are side missions you can do, and there are also collectibles in the game itself. Now if you collect these collectibles, they can give you like special outfits, they can make you better in the game, they're gonna give you special gadgets, stuff like that. So if you are into that, then definitely collect the collectibles. It's the same for the side missions and the secrets. But what really blew me away wasn't just a map, it was how much story and character this world actually had. Now, the story isn't just pranks all over the place. No, it's not. It had arcs, it does have betrayals, but it also has growth. Like I said, it's not like you can just prank everyone and that's all you can do. No, the game has its own story. Pranks are part of it, but you get to help teachers, you get to help students, you get to work for local townmen doing side jobs and stuff like that. But the cool thing is that Jimmy in the beginning of the game is pretty much a troublemaker, right? He likes to bully kids and stuff like that. But he goes from the troublemaker to more of a local hero, respected by peers and everyone that's in the area or on the map. And it's unusual for Rockstar to get a protagonist in there with real character development. Now, don't get me wrong when I say this, because Red Dead Redemption 2 had amazing character development with the main character and all the characters surrounding it. But back in the day, I think that this was perfect. Maybe this even led to them making the character progression in Red Dead Redemption 2 so freaking good. But if you look back at 2006 when this game came out, it had its own, how should I say it? Its own uniqueness. Now, there's themes of bullying, there's loyalty, there is betrayal, like I said, and it's all surprisingly mature. It just really tells a story. And it wasn't just cutscenes or story beats either. Even the day-to-day stuff, like going to class, actually mattered in this game. Like there's English class where you have to find words, and if you find enough words, you pass that specific English class. I didn't. I really suck at English, it seems. But if you pass English classes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, starting with 1, then you'll get better at like apologizing. You can probably ask for favors favors, stuff like that. So going to classes in this game is a big game changer for your overall experience in the game. Like there's even chemistry that unlocks new gadgets like stink bombs, firecrackers that you can use. There's the gym you can go to learn new fighting techniques, wrestling moves when you get into fighting situations. There's art class that will help you increase your health and relationship bonuses. It's just amazing. And once class was over, all those upgrades actually fed back into the real fun. Throwing fist, gadgets and chaos. And simple but effective when talking about the fighting system. You can fight with your fists, you can do grabs, you can pick up melee weapons on the ground like bats for example, that you can use to take down certain characters in the game that you don't like or have to take down for missions. But gadgets gave it personality. There's the slingshot, which is super iconic. People who have played Bully before know that this is the most iconic weapon in the game, at least for me. There are firecrackers you can use that you can throw at people and be like, hey, just have a taste of my firecrackers. There's itching powder, you know, to make everybody just scratch all that itchy powder off them. But yeah, the gadgets really added to the game. And combos learned in the gym also felt really rewarding, because every time you go to the gym class, you're just gonna get new moves that you can use when you get into a fight. And every time it's something new, something that you can use in combat, right? But there's just something about it. Every time you get a new move, it just feels freaking good. And there's a good balance between the game being silly and absolutely satisfying. And that is kind of what makes Bully unique in a way too. But Bully wasn't just about fighting and, you know, just getting into fights all the time. It had all these quirky little mechanics you don't really see anymore. But when I started playing this game, like so many years later, one thing I noticed on PC, because I played this on the PlayStation 2 back in the day and now play it on PC, the controls are janky as hell, because R to open a door or Alt to sprint, like where is the shift button to run, I had to change all the settings in the game to make it work for me to be able to play it way better than the game just puts it in front of you like, hey, you have to press R to open the door, Alt to sprint. No, I don't like that at all. But then again, I cannot blame it too much because this game is pretty old. Now, once you complete a certain mission in the game for the nerds, you unlock your skateboard. Now, the skateboard is also a really iconic gadget that you get later, you know, when you finish that mission. It's not really that far into the game, but once you get it, you'll be able to travel faster across the map, which is a really big time saver. Now, there's also this homeless guy where you have to find old transistors for, and he will teach you new army moves, you know, army fighting moves that you can use in combat or fights that you get into. Now, another thing that I noticed is that crashes still happen today, and a lot of crashes. Like, I completed a mission, I completed maybe 2 or 3 missions, and suddenly the game doesn't autosave. Your game just crashes and you have to start all those missions over again, which kinda, you know, got me a bit upset, let's put it at that. But all of this together just made Bully stand out from literally every other Rockstar game. Bully was like unique in its own way, because no other game development company has ever made something similar to this, and Rockstar has proved that they could do more than crime simulators like GTA. Bully was just something unique. It's on a school ground, you get to bully kids if you want, you get to explore a world. It was basically GTA in kid style, right? If that makes sense. But I really don't know why Rockstar never ever came with Bully 2. Now, there are rumors out there that said that they were working on it, which I am going to go into a little bit later in the video, because there is some evidence that they might actually be secretly working on Bully 2, which is amazing if it's true, but it's not confirmed yet. And if Bully 2 does come out, hell, I'm gonna get goosebumps all over my arms and legs, because this game has been my childhood, and for many people out there as well. So if they do turn up to come, you know, with Bully 2, that's gonna be freaking sick. But of course, being Rockstar, they couldn't release a game about kids fighting without controversy. Because back in 2006, when Bully launched, parents and media went into outrage. There are multiple articles out there still up to this day that list that when the game came out, parents were upset that Rockstar made this game because their kids would play this game, and they said it would make their kids freaking violent. Like headlines said, too violent for kids, corrupting youth, and stuff like that. But the reality of the game is that it's mostly pranks. You can just throw stink bombs at people or do just funny, crazy stuff, right? It's not even GTA 5 or something. It's not like you can shoot guns and you see blood all over the place. No, it's not. But another thing that these parents just got wrong is that the main character Jimmy usually punished the bullies, not encouraged them. Like in the beginning of the game, you can see that he's pretty much a bully on his own, but later in the game you get to be the hero of the story. Like, don't bully each other, you know, just be normal.
But I want you to stop bullying weak kids.
But the controversy eventually even boosted the sales and gave it a cult rep. Like, parents could be like, don't play this game, but the kids would play it anyway, because if the media and the parents go hard on it, yeah, that's just gonna put controversy and people want to check it out anyway. Even the kids like me back in the day were like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna check that out, even if the media says stuff like that. It might be a good game, you know? And honestly, the funniest part is that so much of the game was more about goofy cliques and over-the-top stereotypes than violence. Like, you had the nerds, you have the preps, you have the greasers, the jocks. They were all exaggerated stereotypes, but each one of those just has their own flair and hilariousness to it. And each chapter has Jimmy helping them or fighting a specific group of those people, like the nerds, prep, greasers, and jocks. Eventually, they all become his allies, which is satisfying character progression as well. Now, I don't want to go into depth too much on it, because for the people who haven't played it, let's just say there are missions out there that you have to complete, which will make them like you more if you help them out. But it's really cool, you know? And missions are often absurd. There's pranks, there's dating, there's costumes, there's certain missions you have to do, but all these characters in the world have their own unique flair. Like, there's this guy called Algernon, right? Algie, and he forgot to zip his freaking pants, right? And if he isn't going to the toilet fast enough, he will piss his freaking pants. Stuff like that. It's just freaking hilarious. So it's not just bullying and just, you know, hitting kids all over the compound. It's also hilarious and funny in a way, you know? But the craziest part that I really want to address in my video here is that Rockstar actually did start working on a sequel on Bully 1. The thing is that Rockstar New England started development around 2008. They even had a 6 to 8 hour playable build that existed. They had planned upgrades, enterable buildings, smarter NPC AI, consequence systems, but they cancelled the development because all of the resources moved to Max Payne 3 and Red Dead back in the day. Even Dan Houser said that everyone at the studio adored Bully, but nothing was really planned. And composer Sean Lee hinted he worked on Bully 2's music in 2009. Now, in 2021, Bully's trademark got renewed, sparking even more rumors. And since then, it has only been leaks, Easter eggs, speculations. But what I think is that Rockstar is secretly behind the screens working on Bully 2. Because the fans, there are a lot of fans on Bully, even people who play GTA. Because GTA players love these types of games. Even me, I am a GTA player as well. But there's just something that tells me they're gonna come out maybe next year or the year after, or maybe even sooner, with a surprise trailer, maybe even after GTA 6 has been released, where they showcase Bully 2 or give us a tip or anything, or a hint that they are gonna bring it out. So just imagine if they'd actually follow through with Bully 2. Now imagine Bully 2 having a bigger world. There's going to be multiple schools or even universities you can go to. You might even be able to choose which school or university you want to go to, with them having their own perks, their own students you can put pranks on, stuff like that. There's going to be more classes with deeper mini games, expanded cliques and factions. There's going to be modern tech, which is huge potential, like being able to play the game in 4K. The game is going to look freaking amazing graphic wise. Gameplay mechanics are gonna be amazing. You know, it could have been Rockstar's other biggest franchise. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But instead of that future, all we've got is the original, which does still hold up today. Don't get me wrong on that. But for those who haven't played it yet, the game still holds up today. Now, the graphics aren't like really new, but the gameplay loop feels fresh. There's humor and satire, giving it timeless replayability. And there is even a mod community that keeps the game alive on PC. Now, I hope that Rockstar actually decides to showcase Bully 2 in the near future. And with that, that brings me to my verdict on Bully 1. Now, Bully was unique, creative, and definitely ahead of its time. Rockstar dropped the ball by never ever bringing out a sequel. I'm gonna say it once more. If they bring out a sequel, the game is gonna sell well. I'm just gonna confirm it right here. I am certain that if Rockstar did bring Bully 2 onto the market, it might even get close to how many sales GTA 6 will make. It's not gonna go over it, definitely not, but it's gonna be close. Now, do you think we'll ever see a Bully 2, or has Rockstar forgotten one of their best games they have ever made? Let me know down in the comments. Now, in terms of what I would rate the game right now, I'd probably say, when I take all the new things in consideration, like the crashes, the controls, how it plays on PC, I'd say a 7.5 out of 10. That is because the PC version is a bit buggy nowadays. I'm not sure if that is really fair, but when I take that into consideration, I think a 7.5 is more than fair. Now, let me know if you guys agree with my verdict here. I want to hear all your memories of the game, and let's make the game awesome. And even, you know, push this video to everyone you know, so we can give Rockstar a kick up their butt that they have to make Bully 2. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. I hope you like this one. Take care.